Hi guys, I'm back. Oh, thank God. Oh God, I'm back. My first travel of the day. Anyways, to, after this, I'm gonna do my cleaning. So let me do this as efficient as I can. Okay, let me put it that way. I guess. Right. Okay. So we're gonna get back to the topic, but first and foremost, I wanted to talk about how sometimes really God gives us clues and and hints and all that, and the Bible is really designed that way. From the beginning of Genesis 1 down alone, right? It says a lot about like the God existence, and and a lot of people, like I said, they won't believe unless they see, like, they have proof. Like, who are you? Like, who are you? Are you so special to, like, come on now, like, so you're gonna try to, like, go against, but again, you know St. Paul said this, that even between us Christians, right, there's like, we needed to correct each other, and it doesn't matter how way we, she the other person perceive it, way it has to be done, right? And so much more, as we need to correct the world, because why, it's being deceived by Satan, right? And that's why, going back to my initial, this is like off, it's not my in my notes. It's, God created heaven and earth, with perfection, like with everything is entangled together, and all that, with Jesus Christ in it. And Jesus Christ has had have I don't know, my grammar, my use of words might not be appropriate, but forgive me. Again, I'm a sinner. I'm a dirty. I'm a lawyer. I don't know. But among all of that, thank God that Jesus Christ took all those badges, right? You guys have all badges. I have badges. You know what? When he died at the Calvary, he took those badges instead of us. We no longer carry that, right? Anyways, okay, that's another topic. I'm getting off topic all the time. That's why I don't like the freestyle talking sometimes too. But okay, I gotta go back, and I need to keep my eyes so that, okay. But one more thing I need to say is that when God created, right, it's just so tremendous. Like, He's omnipresent, and He made it perfectly for everything, for the earth to be inhabitable, right? Everything is there, right, for us to survive, really, right? In terms of, not the, not the pleasure, not the happiness that every human being, not those, like, for us to really survive, right? But humanity always wanted to, like, want more and more. And okay, we're not going back to Adam and Eve, but my point of saying is that God created this, and then seven is always like a seven number, completion, and that's Sabbath day, right? And a lot of a religion, a lot of, I don't know, denomination, a lot of, I don't know, so many things that group together are using that as, like, it's Sabbath day. They're fighting with each other, back and forth, all these back and forth, like pointing who's right and who's wrong. I mean, okay. Let's get to the point here, because you now we're lose. It's like, you're planning on everything else except for life after death. It's the same, similar, but it's different. I know that, but I'm using that concept. Let's go on to the most important thing, and and try not to fight with each other just because of a point. And again, pride really kills humanity in so many ways. Pride always, like, exists in humanity, and is always the cause of conflict, the root cause of it. But anyways, okay, I'm getting off the topic. Okay, so again, Sabbath really is Jesus. There's no more such thing as Sabbath. Okay, this is so broad, and this is so basic for me to say this. I'm just gonna say that everything, like, those, when the history, that the Ten Commandments, that of course we follow it. It's again beyond, what you want, what your conscience tells you, right? And it's good to follow them, right? But this is okay, the history of, how offering animals and all that. We no longer need that. Jesus really offered himself already. He was like the animal offering that, the Old Testament, right? He's now he already offered him his own body and blood, right? We know all the Calvary story, right? And then the Sabbath day, because there's so many. I'm not gonna even say so many things that Jesus is, right? But the bottom line here is the Sabbath is he is now our Sabbath, our rest, our resting peace, a completion, right? That's why there's 7 days, because now you're renewed. Every day you should be renewed, renewed in Jesus, right? And again, the seventh day, right, is a completion. And then you start again and you start again. And that's how life is. You're just gonna have to push it and fight. It's like a warfare, right? You know, anybody who believes in Jesus Christ knows this, right? It's like you're battling you get against evil, really, not against humanity. Because why? I say this to my children from when they're young, right? Humans, right? Pets, buildings, they're being used by Satan. So in total, bottom line, they're not really the enemy here. It's really Satan. You really cannot fight that. I get stay away from that, because if you get involved with that, that means you're letting Satan win, right, over you. And now Satan's gonna continue to use your family. Satan's gonna use your pets. Satan's gonna use your, I don't know, building, property, whatever. Satan is the culprit of all, right? Right. So we need to understand that in our thick head. So if the minute you understand, I always say it in and my kids are like, oh my god, mom's so random. But I need to say it. I don't care. If I sound like I don't care. But anyways, let's go back to the topic. Okay, let me get an on here. We understand now that Jesus is the Sabbath, right? Right? I don't know if many people, I'm not done yet, I think. Many people have all these, like, polytheism, or so many gods that they pray to. Do you really feel like Sabbath in that moment when you pray, or no? Because when I call upon Jesus, he's there. He's my Sabbath. He's my rest. That's why I can move on. Otherwise, trust me, there are so many things going on in my life that I'm able to accomplish them because of not my own strength, not my own understanding, not anything but Jesus Christ. So my question here is just to anybody. You guys are my brothers and sisters, right? Not my brothers and sisters in Christ, maybe, but as an overall earth sense, right? Do you feel that Sabbath when you call? Say if you're at the bottom, of your life, like everything's like one after the other. I'm not gonna mention crisis, right? So many things. Okay, whatever that is, to each his own. But there, you have your own story, and each one of us has have or whatever hit that. I need to. It's too late. I need to go shower, and I woke up and then I'm on camera here. But whatever, I don't care. And I don't wear makeup at all forever and ever. I don't like it. So you're gonna whatever, and I don't care. So have you reached that rock hard bottom that you feel like, okay, you know what? You call upon your God, whatever your God. Do you feel Sabbath? Do you feel that rest? Do you feel that you're being taken care? You're being comforted. You cannot feel that in any man, even your spouse, your husband or your wife. Mostly, you should get that because of Adam and Eve, right? That's normally you could never get it from your kids because you're supposed to provide it. You're supposed you the comfort, right? You get the comfort from them, and intentionally because that feeling that the joy and like. But okay, I'm getting off the topic here. But okay, do you feel that feeling of completion or Sabbath, so that you can have a rebirth and continue on for the next, right? Do you? definitely need to question yourself. Otherwise, okay, I'm gonna have to go to the next video. Otherwise, and then continue on with the topic because we're getting off. Okay, see you guys soon.